Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Rogers, and today you are watching History by a High Schooler. I know last we left off with the Russian Revolution Part 1 by Oversimplified, but in that video, if you go back, I talk a little bit about, or the video before that, the World War II one, I talk about how I used to study Japanese history. Not like study, but I did an independent research thing about it, but yeah, I thought it'd be nice to go back to that slide that younger Justin cooked up, and it'd just be nice to go through and do a shorter video today because I am wiped out. Let me tell you, track practice has been hard, but that's the way life is. So I got a whiteboard behind me, and we'll do stuff with that later. I'm hoping to do more of a teaching vid this time because I've just been doing reacting ones, and I gotta expand. You know the usual. So let's just get into it, shall we? Let's get into this presentation because I don't remember most of it because I made it 2 years ago, I believe. I'm not sure. All right. Japanese History by Justin Rogers. All right. How do we go? The Edo Period. Before this, Japan was a country of many city-states constantly in war, lasted 1603 to 1867, known as the period of peace and isolation, ruled by the Tokugawa bloodline. So, if I remember correctly, Japan, okay, I think the audio is going to change in a second. Hold on. That just means I have to talk louder. So, I hope you guys can see the board. I'm moving this stuff. Let's hold on before we get to this. Too crazy with this, huh? Japan geography. Yep, right there. Images. If it ever loads, we'll be in great shape. Let's draw our own little Japan, huh? Jeez, I was never good at art class, so. All right. I think I got it. It's like a J, huh? Ooh, not even close. It's a J. We'll call it like a banana. Make it a little bumpy right here. Boop. Doop, doop, da. Make it narrow. And then we got it perfectly. We are great at making maps. All right. So this is our Japan. This is Japan, right? Boom. So amid this century of the century of peace, let's see if you hold on. Let's see if you guys can see what I'm writing. Yeah, you guys can see that. Perfect. All right. So during this Edo period, Japan was cut up into a bunch of little pieces. Boom, 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 boom. And each of these pieces was controlled by a different shogun. Bum, 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 bum. This one will be a smiley face because they're happy. These guys will be mad face. They will be regular squiggly line, T squiggly line, colored in. But you get the gist. Completely different. All with their different, not so different cultures, but different styles of ruling and just different areas. So I gotta compare it to the United States, how we all have our different culture and traditions that we do. So yeah, something like that, right? And relatively peaceful. There a lot of shoguns would go against each other, like these guys didn't like these guys for some reason, and then blah blah, dead. But that didn't happen. Well, it happened a lot, but it was relatively peaceful. Tokugawa bloodline. I think they started ruling in the late 1500s. They took over, and it just came a dynasty where this guy super good at his job, and then just kind of decreased. Oh, he forgot arms. And they decreased until this guy was the guy that everybody hated. But you get the gist of it. Let's move on to the next slide. Sorry about this non-editing stuff. It's the best I can do. Oh, well, we get a little more information on the Tokugawa bloodline. Tokugawa bloodline ruled over Japan for a stallion 250 years before the Meiji Restoration. Yep. Look at these cool guys. Oh, cool. In the bottom we have the left to right here. Don't look at my forehead. Just look at this. Look at the screen, all right? Tokugawa Ieyasu found I am so sorry if you're Japanese and you're watching this. Founder of the Tokugawa shogunate, Tokugawa Ieyasu, third shogun, created a policy that isolated Japan for 214 years. So this guy right here cut off trade with the outside world because he didn't want other religions interfering with his rule. Because, correct me if I believe, which one was it? It was either Italy. It was a Spanish country, I'm pretty sure. So let's say this is Spain. Blah. Far, far away. They sent ships over. Let's make a little ship right here. Whoop. There's its sail. Boom. Ship of the year. And they brought religion with them. Catholicism. You know the word. I don't. But they were bringing this over here, and they were influencing people. They're all like, praise God, right? And this middle guy right here, Tokugawa Ieyasu, he saw that as a threat to his power. He was like, no, we worship. Gosh, I wish I remembered. But they worship a certain religion where the emperor was a god. So, of course, he would not want any other religion that, what's the word I'm looking for, interferes with that. All right, let's move on to the next one, huh? Next slide. You can tell that sophomore year Justin was just on a roll with these, huh? The Meiji Restoration was the restoration of imperial rule back to the Empire of Japan under Emperor Musashito Meiji in 1868. So this guy, Emperor Meiji, he was actually pretty cool. I like researching it about him. So at this time, Emperor's gone, right? Sorry, I don't have a eraser. So I think right before the Meiji Restoration, there was. Okay, let's draw our banana-shaped Japan again, huh? Ah, God, that was worse than the last one. Gotta go back to. This is also art class, if you didn't know. Like I said, little banana. We'll pretend it is a great. Oh my gosh, I am sorry if I offend anyone, but I'm just doing this to teach out the goodness of my heart, and that you shouldn't be ashamed to draw what's on your mind. Right? That's our Japan. It's a lot worse than the other. Let's make it a little thicker, just a little. There. That's our Japan. So, I'll label it so everybody that just happened to click on this part, Japan, right? Anyways, Meiji Restoration, right before this, which sophomore Justin didn't mention, is that the USA, you know, USA, came over and we're like, hey, Japan, I don't think it's cool that you're isolated and you have a lot of trading goods that we'd like. And Japan was like, no. So the USA brought in a bunch of ships. See? A bunch. I'll draw two. One more than the... But these ones had... What are you doing, Justin? These ones had cannons. So, yeah, and then they got in the harbor right here and basically said, you are going to open your gates and trade. So basically forced them out of isolation, period. And then a little while later, Japan had a civil war between shoguns and Emperor Meiji here, because Emperor Meiji was just thinking about catching up to the newer countries and having a modern army, while most of the shoguns and such still relied on samurai and older beliefs and traditions, and that didn't sit well with them, that he was trying to move the country in a new direction. So there was a civil war. I think it was fought from here down, since Tokyo is around this area, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, Japan geography. But anyway, that's what the Meiji Restoration was. It was taking Japan from an isolated country and turning them into a modern powerhouse. The Imperial Japan, which is one of the most prolific and threatening, I guess, time for Japan. After the Meiji Restoration, the organization of the newly formed Empire of Japan, the Japanese display many imperialistic ideals as they annexed Taiwan, which was the result of the First Sino-Japanese War in 1894, fought a war and won against Russia in 1904, which helps it become a world power, and officially annexed Korea in 1910. Yeah, so basically, you have Korea over here, right? The Korean Peninsula. And then, let's get Japan out of the way. And then you got, big old China up here. We'll just, China. And then, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm right. And then, Russia's up here, but it's connected. Stupid Justin. There. This was all Korea. One Korea. See? There you go. There's your map. Oh, wrong. Hi. Wrong one. Anyways, Imperial Japan is always Japan has always been at odds with China. They fought a lot of wars even before this. It goes all the way back to when the Mongols, Genghis Khan, they would come over from China and try to get Japan. But since Japan is located out in the ocean, a lot of people couldn't. And imagine just attacking a whole country where you'd have to have a land invade. Yeah, it'd just be hard. So basically, nobody's invaded them. So, but they have invaded tried to in past. So they've always been at odds with each other, and it still kind of persists today. But I'm getting besides the point. Since there was a lot of, Jared, help you out. Since there's a lot of stuff, they've always fought over Korea. Korea's been the de facto which one's ours, and they've kind of went back and forth in history. But basically, what sophomore Justin is saying is that Japan in the imperialistic era, they modernized, so they became one of the most powerful militaries in the world. Took Korea, took Taiwan, which is, let's say right there. Taiwan's right there. They took Taiwan. And then Russia, since we watched the Russian Revolution video, so you guys should know, Russia was just in a dump right now, and they're looking for an easy win. So in Manchuria, which would be up here, they invaded Manchuria, and these guys were like, no, we want it. And yeah, basically fought over it. Japan won, which was the first time an Asian country beat a European one, so that was pretty cool, pretty historic. Japan World War I, told you guys. Japan did let's just erase this again and start from a clean slate. Japan did what is the word I am looking for? Japan did compete in World War One, but it was mostly because for their own interests. The Germans had islands out in the Pacific, and Japan just kind of, let's say this is our Japan, boom. Japan just take, and now they have more resources since they've historically lacked resources. But let's see what sophomore Justin said. Japanese played an important role by securing sea lanes against Central Powers, and the Japanese continued their imperialistic ideals by conquering German colonies in the Pacific, which gave them a larger sphere of influence. That is true. Treaty of Versailles, 1919, yep. Everybody knows that one. Johnson-Reed Immigration Act, signed in 1924, preventing all Japanese entrance to the United States. That's a cool... We'll do that later. We'll make a video on that later. Late 1920s. So this is basically just going through the events, leading up to World War II. The Second Sino-Japanese War, which is also, many historians debate, like the beginning of World War II, since it started off with... Just to start everything off with a bang. Let's move on. Japanese conquers much of Southeast Asia. That's true, because China at this time was kind of struggling with its identity, if it was democratic or just because their dynasty fell down. fell down. So the Chinese were not very organized, and the Japanese took a large portion of their country over during World War II, but didn't have enough resources to maintain that level of occupying such a large country. Which leads into Pearl Harbor, which was a day that will live in infamy. Battle Midway takes place. Turning point in World War II for the Japanese. Because that was the mark where they're losing to the U.S. Atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan signs surrender treaty in September 2nd, 1945. Post-war Japan, Allied occupation. Yeah, I found this actually pretty interesting, was the post-war Japan. Post-war Japan, actually, the U.S. forces stayed there for a while, and they also... Okinawa was a base of military operations for the U.S. forever. I think it still is. I'm not sure. We can Google it. I mean, we're right here. Sorry about the loud bang. That was the chair. Okinawa military base. Yeah. Is it still a thing? Yeah, see. So we always... the U.S. has always maintained a presence, at least a little bit, in Japan. And part of the treaty that the Japanese signed with the U.S. was that they're never allowed to have, or operate armed forces again. But they do have a peace corps, kind of, Japanese peace... what is it? Let's just say military and it'll correct me. That's smart, Justin. Yeah, Japan Self-Defense Forces. So they're not, that's what I meant to say. Peace Corps. Silly Justin. And then modern Japan has the 10th largest population in the world, currently has the 3rd largest economy in the world, behind China and the US. I don't know if that's changed at all. Let's check. Japan's economy ranking. There it is. Yeah, they're still ranked 3rd. See right here. Boom. 3rd. And I'm assuming the other one's right too. Maybe not. Hold on. Population rank. '11th, so they dropped one. Yeah, they dropped one in population. I wonder who beat them. But we'll never know because I don't feel like looking it up just yet. Anyways, that was just the video for today. Hopefully it's a shorter one. I just wanted to get a video out to you guys today since I didn't get one out yesterday. And yeah, if there's any questions, put in the comment section. Feel free to correct me on any of those Japanese names. I know I butchered a few of them. And if you want to make fun of my Japanese, my Japan drawings, go ahead. It's all fun and games here. I don't mind. But I hope you took away something from this very fast overview of Japanese history. And let me know if you want to see more of sophomore Justin's history presentations, because I got a few. I did a lot of history that year. But that's about it. That's all I have for you guys. Until next time.